Hey everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com. It's about 8 o'clock on December 19th, 2012, here on the East Coast. I had to take my younger son, there's only two of them, to karate testing. So anyway, before we get started, just need to remind you that the website and the video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in the video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research and make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. I am not a licensed financial professional, just a guy that draws lines on charts. So let's do just that. Okay, well, I tell you what, yesterday's little call, at least at the end of the day today, this is looking pretty solid, and that is that the that the S&P went ahead and tagged the top of this ascending channel, and then tagged it again, then broke through our little orange channel here, and you could say made something of a little top pattern, but certainly you can see clear evidence that it's rolled over here. And, you know, I could make this a 45-second video and tell you I would expect it now to come back down to this line at some point. So that's kind of what it looks like. You can see there was an initial little bounce here on that neckline area, but then it could not maintain that, and it has come back down. Now, if you'll remember, we were looking at this inverted head and shoulders back here from November, and look how kind of similar it is. We got above it, stayed above it for a bit, then came down, broke through this neckline, but then as soon as we came back down to a support level that at the time, to be honest with you, did not exist. And what I mean by that is we didn't know, this was only our second data point for this. But so this really doesn't come as that much of a surprise, and I would not at this point chalk this up to a failed pattern. And the reason I wouldn't is because the neckline did not break by that much. The neckline right here is right at about 1439, and the high that we hit yesterday was 1447 and change. Call it 1448. So we had about a 2/3% break, and frankly, I think a solid breakout should probably be at least 1%. So I would expect tomorrow some follow-through downside. If we get it, let's see if we get a bounce now on this rising support line. And if we do, if we get the signs of a bounce, then that might be another good spot, you know, to make an entry into the S&P with stops. You know, guys, personally, we are so close to getting up to what I think should be some major resistance in the 1500s. Now I know that's 100 and change away, but just the same, because we are so close to doing that. And we've also seen times when we've had these triple top kinds of patterns where that third top gives up the ghost before reaching that top mark. And after all, I mean, that's kind of what a head and shoulders is. It's you have a rally, then you have a higher rally, and then your third rally doesn't make that level. So, you know, there are a number of possibilities about how we interpret what has taken place in the S&P over the last 16 years. But certainly getting close to this line, the moral of the story is, and what I was getting ready to say, is I don't really feel too good about anything without either a very strong commitment to babysitting the trade and being willing to cut losses at a very manageable percent, either that or just an outright stop. And the good news is that when you're trading an ETF, let's say you're trading SPY, then it's real easy. You're not going to be gypped out of that like you might out of a thinly traded stock, where if you set a stop, the market maker may see that and he may gun for it. You may open at your stop and then see a tremendous rally right off of getting stopped out. That's happened to me before. So anyway, what I'm saying is if we come down to this level here and we start to see indications like we saw here, where we were starting to firm up and turn to the upside, if we see that again, then that may be a good opportunity to jump on this again, but with an exit plan if it turns south. So guys, I think for now, since it's a little late, I'm going to let it stand at that. We turned back on resistance. Actually, I thought we would do so yesterday at this neckline, but instead we got the extra 8 or 9 points up to this channel line, and now I would fully expect to come back down and to test this lower support line. So there you have it for December 19th, 2012. There'll be another video tomorrow, and then there'll be one over the weekend. But I want to say before we get to well, I'll have more to say later. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care.